Here's John. Okay, we're back at it again. Had to get back out to it because of everything that's happening regarding the election. It is now November 6, 2020. Let's get right to it. The question is, was there massive voter fraud? For that to even be a question is almost silly. If there was voter fraud, that is almost rhetorical. It's hilarious. So here's the deal. So we had a gentleman who ran, Donald J. Trump, already probably the top 4 greatest presidents ever. Definitely since Teddy Roosevelt. Has supplanted Reagan for all the stuff that he's had to endure to overcome. What are we talking about? When he was on the ballot as the winner of the primary in 2016, the European countries, the Union came out against him. Even the Pope came out against him and said, "Oh, you shouldn't vote for him. Oh, he's gonna ruin the world." No, the deal is with Trump is he's a cog in the wheel. He's a giant, massive speed bump. He's in the way of the one world order. And that's why this voter fraud has happened. Okay, so we're supposed to believe that there was no vote theft, yet people take yard signs. People actually steal people's property because of Donald Trump. And they've done it against other politicians, but not like this. People have gotten punched out, maimed, nearly killed because of Trump. There must be something deeper than just winning election. There must be something more powerful, higher powers, spirits of darkness that want him out of the way. And that is Agenda 21, the global agenda, now Agenda 30, okay, 2030. And these are the people that want him out of the way. The Faucis, the Gates, the Bloombergs, now fake book people, Zuckerberg, probably Tesla, I don't know, maybe not. These people want him out of the way. So they spent $40 million trying to bring him down via Robert Mueller's phony FBI investigation. Nothing. They've tried to bring him down for tax evasion. Nothing. They tried to fabricate racism. Nothing. Misogynist. Nothing. Okay, he was supposedly a racist when all these black people gave him awards prior to him being elected, and then all of a sudden they turned on him. Wow, if that's the case, who's a racist? We're supposed to believe that a 2-bit, and I don't mean to put government workers down, but let's just say this. We're led to believe that people will steal people's lawn signs. They'll spend $40 million on an FBI report that came back null and void, empty, nil. And we're led to believe that a government worker, a few government workers who have an instant of massive power and bias would be honorable. That's laughable. I mean, there's people that will flip you off, cuss you out, growl at you, make gorilla noises, dinosaur sounds because you're a conservative. But voter fraud, nah. John, you're off your rocker. That's not going to happen. There's going to be no voter fraud. So what I want you guys to do is you look at this video and you tell me this looks pretty darn authentic. And it is crystal clear. So I want you guys to take a look. Take a look up at the screen. You tell me what's happening. Go ahead.
This lady is marking the ballots. I filmed her a half hour ago doing 6, and she's still working at it. Let's stamp it, received, and let's fill in our 6 blanks. All at the top of the tickets on each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's a security guard right there who's watching her. The cops are in on it. Disgusting.
Okay, there you guys go. What do you viewers think about that? That looks pretty genuine, doesn't it? Crystal clear. If you were going to make this up, you wouldn't put an officer in there. You would just have maybe one person in a room stamping away, scratching away, right? No, there's a gentleman across from her, fold up tables, which are temporary. But then why would you have an officer wandering around? In fact, that would be the last thing that you would throw in there, because you wouldn't believe that an officer would be in on it. But check it out. If you're in a heavily demonic, democratic city where all these shenanigans go on, where they're as crooked as a snake, all right? They're as greasy as wheel juice, okay? The officer's going to be there. He's going to be a part of it. So this video is all telling. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard these videos are everywhere and they're going to come to the forefront. And this may be the most pivotal time in the history of the modern world, because if the US goes down, you're going down, and the liberals are going to be, they're going to be very crusty. And they're going to get angry too, trust me. If Biden were to win, they're going to get angry. But let's see if I want to throw you guys a few more things. 2016, Bush barely won Florida, you could say. He blew it open this time by 3.5 points, number one. Number two, Ohio. They said he'd win Ohio. I said he'd never win in 2016, Florida or Ohio. Why? Because they were fed up with Obama. We had 8 years of sniffing glue, drinking lacquer thinner, and eating soft mud pies, okay? We were fed up with Obama. So they decided to give Trump a run, even in the primaries. And guess what? Home run, grand salami, okay? So you look at Florida. They won by more. Ohio won by more. Iowa, they got suckered. They voted for Obama twice. They went big for Trump this time. Why didn't they try to commit any fraud there? Those are possible flip states because they're run by Republicans. The governments are run by Republicans, so they had zero chance. Let's go to New York. If you watch my last video, which I posted before the election, go look at it, just so you know I got a little bit of clout. And I'm the same guy that said George Floyd, those officers are going to walk, and already one of the charges have been dropped on the officer that had the third and second degree murder charges. That's a whole other video. You get back to me on that. I'll spew out and speak out a bit about what's happening there as well. New York, I think was 59-32 Hillary in the last election. You know what it currently stands at? 55-43, I think 43.5. Okay, no, Trump's not going to win. But to close the gap, 4 points on probably the second most liberal state in America, if not the top 5, easy. They turned away. They fled from the Democrats. 4 points is huge on 12 million votes. Okay, or 6 million votes, I'm sorry. That's huge. We're not talking 4% on 100,000 votes. Okay, we're talking 4% on 6 million votes. And guess what? You can look it up. Cuomo came out slamming de Blasio because of the poor showing they had. You don't hear that in the news. Of course not. But I said that if Trump closed the numbers on the New York election results, that he would probably win the election. Well, those votes ended up coming in later too. All right. And then you look at the delays in counting. Well, why would there be delays? Well, because you need to know how many votes you're going to need to fabricate, right? To have the little lady like on the video marking them, that's a lot of votes when you got to gather up 200,000 of them. All right, you got people all over making these. So it's kind of like the reverse of Saddam Hussein, the weapons of mass destruction, when Colonel Colin Powell, the most righteous, noble saint ever in the history of the U.S. military, even he admitted that there were trucks and vans and military vehicles going to and fro in and out of Iraq for 9 months because we kept letting him play the delay game, which is what these voting centers, these ballot poll workers and counting centers are doing. They're delay. That's the playbook for the Democrats. They deny, delay, lie, deny, delay. Okay? Now, you've heard of the Trump card. It's a statement. You know, if you trump somebody, it's a good thing. No pun intended. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that these cameras are all over the polling booths everywhere. If that's the case, it's game over. I've also heard that the ballots were secretively, surreptitiously watermarked. If that's the case, it's game over. It must be enforced. This lady's got to go to jail. If none of these people go to jail and none of these laws are enforced, America is gone. And I'm going to be doing some COVID videos too. And COVID is intertwined into this. It's all the ultimate power behind all this is Satan, because you've got liberals that no matter what you tell them, if it represents good and they don't represent good, they'll never believe it, period. So these videos will come to surface, and hopefully more because they're being censored. And which is why I want to say, why would you censor something if it was false? Wouldn't you try to correct it? But you wouldn't censor it because it wouldn't be dangerous or perilous to you, right? So if a guy is writing out checks that he thinks 2 + 3 is 9, well, that he's losing money, right? He's deceived. So wouldn't you try to help the guy out and say, no, 2 + 3 is 5? But if he keeps cutting checks at 9, the guy's getting ripped off. Well, that's the way it is with the Democrats. So if you try to tell them and correct them, if it doesn't fit their agenda, they're not going to believe it. You could show them these videos and they won't believe it. And that's kind of with the COVID. All these numbers were coming out, but yet everywhere you looked, nobody was dying. Remember, the hospitals weren't filled up, but they said they were. No, needed all the beds. They were empty. The overflow in Washington State, and Cuomo needed his ship. You know, Trump said the ship's up there for him. So where am I going with all this? We're at a tipping point, a pivotal point, and it's getting pretty exciting. I'm not afraid at all. I'm getting out of California because that's going to be the first to burn. It already is burning it. They don't allow almost any self-defense mechanisms anymore. So the liberals are going to be the first to fry. And hopefully the conservatives are going to give a heck of a fight. I think we're closing in on a possible a revisiting of what happened in 1775. I don't know. But there's also a great document called the Declaration. I believe it's called the Declaration of or for the Necessities and Causation of Taking Up Arms. I'm going to read that document to you guys on my next video. So thanks for watching. This is all I've got right now because I want to post this video. Please send it out, whoever watches it. Send it out. Look at what I'm telling you. Why would New York have shrunk 4 points in a heavily liberal state if Trump wasn't doing better this election? He pulled away in Florida. He pulled away in Ohio. He pulled away in Iowa. He was winning in Wisconsin when Milwaukee and Dane County were already in. That's University of Madison in the capital, and then Milwaukee, the ghetto. It was all the votes were in except for 1% Milwaukee, and he was up by like 300,000 votes. And you can make up that much ground only one way. If you had that lady in the video if you had her in the video, if you, what's the word I'm looking for? Cloned her. That's it. If you cloned her, 500 of those, that's how you could do it. And the Democrats, they don't clone anybody. They indoctrinate people. They brainwash them. That's their version of cloning. That's as good as they get on cloning. Okay? So look, thanks for watching. John out from the heart of Arizona. Thank you.